Oh, no, that's over, Moz. It's
Oh,
gone.
no, how could this happen? Hello, everybody. Welcome
I miss
to
it
season
too.
2 of Attack on Weekly. We're talking about the final Attack on Titan season, the last season of Attack on Titan, as I like to call it.
Can't believe they pulled a Gintama for that one. The
the
final.
the semifinal, the very final, the ultra final. Um, yeah, and so we're gonna be doing what we did last year. We talk about every new episode of Attack on Titan. So far, I don't think we've decided on a time that we're gonna go with every single week. Today, we streamed at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'd like to think this is a time that works for us, but again, it's subject to change. I'm just announcing
It'll
this.
probably be between 5 and 7 Eastern time.
Yeah, last year we did 5 Eastern, but it turns out a lot of people are streaming at 5 p.m. So, and we don't want to like step on anybody. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll talk. We can talk, but we'll be flexible. But to
mhm,
be fair, Crunchyroll doesn't know when they're streaming either, so
that's
we're
right.
gonna try and make sure
Yeah,
we
who
can
who actually
stream
knows
when the
when we're
episodes
even
are
going
out.
to get the episode and be able to watch it. So, just putting that out there. We are streaming these weekly on our YouTube channel for anyone who's listening on MP3 services. This goes on MP3 the next day. But yeah, if you want to join, that's generally the time that we will do these. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We got people in chat who help us with the discussion. It's a lot of fun seeing them. And thank you all very much for taking time out of your day to be with us to talk about this freaking awesome series.
Thank you. I know the biggest question I had coming into this was, will Maz like the opening with them screaming? Because Maz is kind of picky with his screamo, so I'm like, will this pass the Maz scream check vibe check?
You know, in a way, you're right, but at the same time, I don't know. Just when I knew it was going to be a metalcore band, I'm like, that's probably going to be good.
Okay.
And yeah, I do like it.
Okay, so it passes the vibe check. Sinris, does it pass your vibe check? I don't know how you feel about screamo.
My big takeaway from the opening was it sounds like something really bad that I would have really liked in high school.
It
So,
feels
That
nostalgic.
that's fair.
um, I didn't dislike it.
Hmm.
I thought it was good and fitting for the show and everything. I don't know if I'd say it was a good song, but I thought it was a good opening.
That's how I feel. I feel like they came a bit strong with the screaming at the beginning. Um, they kind of like they came in hard and fast with the screaming from the get go, and I think I prefer when they kind of build up to the angst, kind of like in real life. I don't know what I was gonna say in real life, where you build up to wanting to scream, but I kind of like when they build it up. But this one was like pretty decent. I like the kind of like second half of the opening a bit more, but I would agree it's a pretty good opening. So I'm glad. I was not sure which way you would both fall, but I that's essentially what I thought.
Yeah, it is kind of cheesy, but it goes hard. I like the way they incorporated. I like the orchestral elements of it. It almost sounds like it takes pieces of the soundtrack because it kind of has that like da 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 da, which is the like actual Attack on Titan song. It kind of
Yeah,
has like elements of that in it.
yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh wait, that theme, the Attack on Titan theme. I
Mm.
know this song.
Attack on Titan.
I don't know if I noticed that actually.
I gotta rewatch
I
it.
mean,
I
it's
gotta
not the
read
same exact like riff, but yeah, the string
a
sections in the song
variant.
are very similar to that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was interesting to hear. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I like the ending a bit more, but we can get to that possibly later. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
we wanted to start with because I mean,
Well, Shah, you said your biggest question coming into it was will Maz like the opening?
yeah,
My biggest question coming into it was what the fuck was going on at the end of the last season?
yeah. I was like, wait a
Uh,
minute.
Yeah, so did
yeah,
did anyone else have to go back and because I remember where they left off. I remember that I remember Piek pointed at Eren, and then all the airships came in. But this season starts off with Levi dead question mark, and I'm like, wait, when did that happen?
Yeah. I think everyone forgot about what happened to Levi, so everyone's like, Levi's dead? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I remembered, but it did take me a second. I was like, okay, where the fuck did we end off? And then I was like, oh yeah, so last time on Attack on Titan 2021 edition, it was like everyone, like, half the cast is in jail. Eren is like out doing shit, and then the Marley is invaded, so he's gonna fight Reiner again, and then Zeke did the big booms and like looked like Zeke died, and he took out Levi.
Right. Levi enacted the worst plan in the history of fictional plans.
Yeah.
Sit on top of a bomb that someone else can blow up whenever they want.
Yeah. Yeah, it did not really work. So now Levi is dead, question mark. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not allowed thoughts.
You're not allowed thoughts because you know the answers.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not allowed to question things I know the answer to.
I would be very surprised if Levi was dead. Like, A, for narrative purposes, but also B, because it would be weird to have him be dead but still make a point of like Hanji escaping with his body.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, the fact that Hanj is like very defensive about it makes me think that she knows he's alive.
This was just like me being dumb, but when Flock was like, well, let me check, I know how to take a pulse.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if like, was that supposed to be like an oppressive thing, or was he just like naturally sounding like an asshole? Like,
I think he was. I think he was also trying to be. I think he was thinking that Levi might be alive, and he was like they were trying to, like, Hanj was trying to trick them.
Well, yeah,
oh, definitely.
yeah.
I just was thinking about how he said it. Like, well, I can take a pulse. It's like, yeah, everyone can. Like, you're not a trained medical professional. Like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, no shit. But
well, a part of me not remembering how the last season ended. Can you remind me what Hanj was doing with them? Like, she is not a part of the Jaegerist faction, right?
No, she's not. Okay, so I think at the end of last season, we left off with Flock and the Jaegerists. They were taking over the city, but Hanji and then the rest of the Alliance, that's essentially what they're called. They were all imprisoned, but the Flock and the Jaegers, they didn't know where Zeke was being kept because he was being kept under watch by Levi and those other soldiers. So they were forcing Hanji to take them to where Zeke is in that forest, and that's where they find like Zeke getting rebirthed and Levi KO'd, and everyone else was dead with that like giant fight scene.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they're just in like different parts. I think the important thing to highlight is that like Zeke is in like a random forest with these people, and Eren is in Shingenshima. I think they're there. So he's back there, and like they're both trying to meet up.
Okay, got it. Yeah. I was like, what? I couldn't remember what she was doing with them, like why she would be the one checking the pulse, as if like she had any sort of authority within that group.
Yeah, she's a prisoner too, but she has information, but not anymore because they found Zeke. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I also had forgotten that like Zeke was on the same side as them now.
Yeah.
So when they like turn around and see Zeke like naked coming out of the thing, I was expecting some sort of shit to go down before I remembered that Flock works for Zeke now. I thought that Zeke's near-death dream sequence was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely interesting. I think it's interesting just to see how Kami is about being rebirthed by this random Titan.
Yeah.
Casual. It's interesting because it's like they really did kind of just end it in like the middle of like the arc. Like I don't think it was really the best ending point. So picking up, it's like, okay, we have all these ongoing threads of like, what are these people doing? What's going on? And like, you know, years from now when people will be binging Attack on Titan, it won't be a big deal. But for this year gap for us, it's definitely like, okay, this is odd.
Right.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking the same thing, that I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more if I could have just gone from the previous episode into this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm just going to throw it out there. I presume that the girl in Zeke's dream is Ymir.
I mean,
the original Ymir, obviously, not the
not 2.0.
Yes. Maz, are you a manga?
No, I do not know anything.
Okay, cool.
He does not identify as a manga.
I do not identify as a manga.
Yeah, because I'm kind of curious. I'm curious for both of you because a lot has changed since last year. At least in terms of like Attack on Titan discourse and in terms of like just, everything. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard how manga readers have felt about the ending.
Yeah,
it
actually ended this time. Because when the last season ended, there were still a couple chapters left.
Yeah. Because it ended, I forget when the series ended. Like, it's anime for last year. I forget if it ended in March or April, but I know that...
It was March.
Okay, March. Because then the last chapter came out in April.
Yeah.
And I'm sure against your will, you guys probably heard some opinions about the manga, like not seeking them out.
I've heard that the ending is terrible. That's all. I don't know anything that happens in it, and I have gone as far as to mute Attack on Titan on Twitter for the last year. And I finally unmuted it today because I'm talking about it now. But I've heard some unsavory and unsavory opinions about it, and some people are just like, you know how people get really competitive with their fandom, so people are just like, haha, Attack on Titan fans, your ending was mid. It's just, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that is come up, just for the sake of you two, and then everyone listening. We're not going to spoil the manga ending. We're not going to talk about that.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
That goes for you too, chat. You be good, chat. Okay.
Yeah, chat. If chat spoils this for me, then I'm gonna fucking blow a gasket. I've gone so long without anything.
Only for chat. Yeah. Yeah, the only reason I bring it up is not to be like, and now I will spoil the manga. No, it's to bring up just the change in discourse and how, last time we're going in, Attack on Titan was at its most hype, most discussed, whatever. And now it's kind of a bit of a different playing field, but I think it's still really hype because this is the content that everyone really likes. So I think we're still in a cool, positive space. But I think it's exciting to get back to this content. I think it's cool because I kind of forget a lot of it because I haven't read this section in a couple of years. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot to see. I'm sure as everyone can kind of parse from the opening, a lot of shit is going down. And
I saw a lot of people complaining that there are a lot of spoilers in the opening.
It's another one of those cases where I mean, kind of, but it's a case where it's if you say it's a spoiler, it becomes more of a spoiler versus if you just kind of let people watch it, you're like, oh yeah, look at a lot of random shit going down. Because a lot of it is just symbolic.
It's ooh, Titans.
Ooh, Titans. Yeah, where have we seen
those sure are characters I recognize doing visually evocative things.
Yeah, as if we have not seen this before. Yeah, so I don't think it's that spoilery. I think it's just another Attack on Titan opening. They kind of show symbolic things. They show some they allude to some real show events, but it's not outright spoiling stuff.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean, after the dinosaur and whale titans, I would never would have assumed anything in an Attack on Titan opening is meaningful.
Yeah. It's a literal dinosaur titan. Could you imagine? I'm still waiting for the dinosaur titan.
Yeah, in the anime, we still have no idea what that is about.
Yeah. Yeah. No one, I don't think anyone knows. Yeah, I don't think anyone knows. But, yeah, so I'm excited. Do you guys have expectations? What are you guys kind of expecting based on the confusing events of what has happened?
I think I'm still in the same position I was at the end of the last season, which is not that the plot has tied itself into feels like there's no imaginable way that there can be a like conclusive ending to it. And that's not because of like, that's not to say I think the ending is going to be bad, just that like, you know, how strongly they've established, you know, like the cycle of hate and everything, that
Yeah.
it's hard to imagine any way that the story can just be resolved in such a way that like every string is tied up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, at first I was gonna ask what you meant by conclusive, but I'm guessing you meant kind of like tie up all the like plot lines in like a satisfying way. I'm guessing.
Right. Like
Yeah.
in such a way that it feels as if, you know, the story is actually over and not
Yeah.
just like postponed until the next time someone starts a race war, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess the ending that would do that is the like mass uh not euthanizing, mass sterilizing plan, but I don't think that's actually what'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting the different like you know, we have the Rumbling Gang is like part of our like name. So we have like Rumble Gang and like I think that just means Attack on Titan fans, but like we have the like in-universe Rumble Gang and
Uh-huh.
like we got like, the sterilization gang and then we have the like I don't know, peace gang. I don't know. It's interesting like there's so many different goals that are kind of conflicting it right now, but like none of them are completely satisfying.
Right. I think it got even more complicated with this episode too when Onyankopon let the prisoners out.
Yeah.
Because now you have kind of this additional faction that is, I guess, like, they're not really like a peace faction, but they want to follow Eren, but they don't actually want Eren's plan to happen.
They're
It's a
like
whole another
yeah.
layer of motivations deep.
Like they don't want Eren to die, but they don't support him. So
Yeah.
they're like
Right.
protecting him, but we do not condone Eren whatever the fuck is going on with Eren.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to help their misguided friend.
Yeah. We
Right.
can fix him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then it was interesting though, Armin's whole bit about like, I don't think that Eren actually wants any of the stuff he claims that he wants.
Yeah, that was interesting to see. I mean, I think that like did we kind of have that theory last year? I kind of forget.
If we did, I don't remember talking
Yeah.
about it.
So we called that. We called that last year.
Yeah, let's just say we did.
Yeah, we did that.
We don't know what Eren is thinking.
Yeah.
That seems like a stretch to me, though.
Well, what do you guys think Eren is thinking? That's my question, based on what we have seen and what we remember.
It seems to me like it's pretty believable that everything he's done in this final season has been like his genuine motivation.
Yes, maybe. Well, maybe.
I can't. I don't really get where Armin was coming from to suggest otherwise. Like, you know, he was saying that his theory, I guess, is that he had to go along with Yelena's plan because I don't really know. Like, what? Why would he have to? Like, what's forcing him to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever been established like what Yelena's power like is over everybody, but it's like she's very feared among all these people just for some reason.
Well, Yelenkapon was just like, if I don't go along with Yelena, she'll kill me.
Yeah.
Like, she'll shoot me in the head. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that.
I mean,
but, like,
sure.
what's she going to do to Eren?
She does. I do think I do. Now that I think about it, she did have like a moment in the last season where she just like killed someone, and it's like, oh shit. She doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess she's just supposed to be like the mouthpiece for Zeke. Like what she says like lines up with Zeke. So I think she's supposed to be kind of like the Zeke stand-in, you know?
Right.
So
Okay.
she's also like the Zeke gatekeeper because she like idolizes Zeke a lot and was like gonna do anything she can to make like his plan go forward.
Yeah.
She's the simp. She's a Zeke simp.
We just need like a character sheet. Like someone needs to make a thing that's just like, okay, here's every character, what they did last, where they're at now,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
I wonder if someone's done that.
I wonder, that would be pretty helpful, but I don't even know. We can do it. Let's get like a whiteboard thing and like just start drawing on it like
Yeah.
poorly.
Just have like newspaper clippings all over our walls.
And like strings attached to it. Like that's like how Armin is thinking, where he's like, Aaron can't mean this. But I don't know if this is just me again being dumb and like laughing at mundane stuff. But like when Connie is freaking out over like all of this just so we can have kids, I'm like, none of you guys have ever mentioned any desire of having kids. Like this is kind of fun. Like I get it.
I
Like,
loved
get
when Connie was like, he said something like, "Why would Aaron like want to make it impossible for us all to have children?" And then Armin was like, "Yeah, that doesn't sound like Aaron." I'm like, "Yes, Aaron, noted kid lover."
pro life.
Noted,
Yeah, you know.
Noted fucker.
Yeah.
That's why it's so funny because like I get what they're saying in terms of like they're obviously trying to say that like Aaron would not want to restrict the people that he grew up with and claims to love. Like he wouldn't want to restrict their ability to like be free or whatever. But it's so funny for them to be like, yes, you know, like Aaron so for people having children. Like he would never.
Aaron has strong family values.
Yeah. It's just like the mundane stuff of how they word things, even though I get what they're saying, it just is like really funny. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm just like such a dumbass where I'm like, haha. Like, haha, Aaron pro-life, let's go. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting spot to be in, and I think it's like everything that happened in this episode, it was kind of like, maybe this isn't the best way to word it. I feel like it's just like a stream of consciousness where they're like, yeah, so we're picking up from last time and we're just going to kind of end wherever. Like, I feel like I can't even remember where the episode ended.
It ended with, Aaron is like pinned to the wall after having taken 2 shots to the head, and Reiner is charging him.
Like, many episodes have just been Aaron and Reiner fighting? Not like right now, but like I feel like that could be like 5 different episodes. But
yeah.
What did you guys think of the fight scenes in this episode? There was a lot of CGI, but I watched it obviously legally, wink, in like some like random shitty ass website where everything looked like shit. So I genuinely don't know how it looked. So
it looked fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's very obvious CG. So I'm sure lots of people will be frothing.
Yeah.
But I could not care less.
Yeah.
I thought it looked fine. And what's more important to me than that kind of thing is that I thought, you know, the way they depict the battle scenes is so just like, it's horrifying. You know, when you've got like a bunch of the Eldians like land on a rooftop, and then there's like a hail of gunfire, and a couple of them drop and they like take cover on like the other side of the roof, and then the Zeppelin goes by overhead and is like shooting down at them, and you just see like tons of them just like dropping to the ground.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing they executed so well. I think it really just sells the horror of the battle scene.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's easy to kind of get like, at least for me, like I remember like a lot of the fight scenes, it's always been a combination of like, what's the little guy doing versus what are the big titans doing? And it's easy to kind of overlook the like everyday guy fighting titan for the big guy fighting like the big guys fighting. So
Right.
It's easy to overlook them, but like it's good that they continue to focus on like the everyday battle, because that also like dictates so much of like the military decisions, you know, when
Totally.
they're like, yo, we're getting beat up out there. Like, you know, it's really cool to highlight that, because there's still, you know, wars war being bad is still such a big theme.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff is crucial to making the world feel real, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't see the scenes of just like the random soldiers killing each other, then it wouldn't really feel like there's much of a war going on as much as it's just Eren and Reiner punching each other.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they did a good job with it. I'm excited to watch it and not like bad quality just to see how it was again. But
It is up on Crunchyroll now, finally.
yeah.
2.5 hours late, but it's there.
Yeah, they finally got it. I mean, that's kind of wild. I don't think I've heard of a series crashing Crunchyroll in a while.
Yeah, that used to happen a lot. But yeah, that's it takes me back to the.
I saw
the
people
good old
saying,
days.
I guess it happens for the first episode of the last season, and also apparently with every episode of Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
As that was ending.
Oh yeah, that's right. Really makes you think.
Yep.
I guess anime is like a big deal now or something.
Yeah, right?
This is wild, yeah.
It does kind of make you wonder, like, once Attack on Titan is finally done, what's going to be the next one,
That kind of led to like
Yaiba and
that is
Jujutsu
out right
Kaisen.
now.
Yeah, oh
That is
yeah,
out.
no, that's true.
Here's a question I had for you both. Cineris is always good at like the food for thought questions to lead off the podcast, but I forgot to answer it then. Do you guys think that, like, I guess you guys kind of answered it, but I have an argument against what you just said. But do you guys think Attack on Titan might be the last big, like, new blockbuster franchise for anime fans in terms of like a long-running community property that's just ongoing for like and really popular for like years down the line?
I mean, I don't know. It definitely has a place in the community that, I don't know if any other anime has. And, it's a tough act to follow. I don't know, though. Like we were saying, the new gen shonens like Kimetsu no Yaiba and Jujutsu Kaisen, like, I think they could be that, but I don't know. Who knows? I mean, Yaiba does have an ending in the manga, so it'll end in a few years.
Yeah.
The anime.
The only reason I was not saying yes to Yaiba was just because it's already over. So like, I'm sure they'll make a lot of spin-offs of it to try and make money, but like for the like, I'm thinking it's just like a unique thing where it's like Attack on Titan was popular for like 12 years. And like Yaiba has been ridiculously popular too, but it's like it only was running in like
the manga went for 5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
Or maybe not even that, like 4 years. So yeah. So you're also talking about the way the manga community has reacted to it. I don't know if there is anything else that, like, at least so far, I don't think there's an equivalent to it.
I mean, I'm sure something else will come around eventually, right? Like,
my biggest
anime is only getting bigger and bigger. It's impossible that we'll never see something like this again.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything else compares to it in that regard. Like, Yaiba, yes, is like the hottest shit of all time in Japan. And it in Jujutsu Kaisen, like, all of the people who watch anime have watched those two series, even the people who watch it very casually. But that's still like feels confined to the people who already are interested in anime. Like, my jock little brother was like, "Oh, we have to watch the new Attack on Titan episode right when it comes out, so I have time to get it before the football game." Like, he has not watched like another anime in his life that I haven't like shoved down his throat.
Yeah.
But he's more into this one than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a weird thing of like, it's a weird like way of dominating not just the community but just kind of like pop culture, because I think it has kind of crossed over, as you said, like into that pop culture where non-anime fans will watch Attack on Titan, but I don't know if non-anime fans would watch, like, I don't know, I'm sure some non-anime fans watch Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, but I think it's just like an interesting I feel like it is kind of like the end of an era in terms of like, it was 12 years running. People were following it monthly. They followed both the manga and the anime almost like kind of equally in terms of popularity. And it was like a worldwide mainstay.
Yeah.
And in terms of like other really popular series, I feel like they're just not going to go on as long. And with the community getting so much bigger, I just wonder if it's going to be like, maybe we have multiple Jujutsu Kaisens going on, but are we going to have something as big as like Attack on Titan for as long? That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, like, the first season of Attack on Titan now is only 6,000 people away from being the most popular anime of all time on Mal.
I'm surprised it hasn't beaten Death Note by this point.
I know, like, it's been creeping up on Death Note for a long time, but it's, like, right there now. I expect, like, by the end of the month, it'll be first.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see it. I'm checking it out now. Like, oh yeah, it's getting close.
And Tommy
it's
Tommy Police mentions Chainsaw Man. I did have Chainsaw Man in mind because that has had a very, very large reception for the manga. And there's a ton of anticipation for this anime. But it's just hard. Again, like you said, Shaw, it's hard to know like how long these things will go on, because Chainsaw Man, that manga only went for like 3 years. I know it's going to continue. There's going to be another part to it, but we have no idea when, I guess. And and I wanted to say, like, Jujutsu Kaisen, as big as that is, I think they've already said that it's like halfway over the manga.
Yeah.
And that's also been going on for like 3 or 4 years. So
it is weird that we're entering a new era of series not lasting forever.
Right.
Yeah, because even My Hero Academia, I think it's in the last. There's going to be another year. I don't know.
Yeah, My Hero Academia is in its final arc, and that one has been going on for a while. But the thing is, that also kind of fell off. I mean, that's not me saying it. I'm just saying in terms of how popular it is and how well it's received. I just don't think there's a lot of people who are like super anticipated for the end of this series, and that could also happen with these other things that we mentioned. Like, Yaiba is over in the manga, and I think that manga just kind of like ended, and everyone was like, "Okay, it's over. Time to move on to the next thing." Whereas,
and then like I feel like it ended, and then the next season Jujutsu Kaisen aired, and everyone was like, "This is it."
yeah, pretty much. It's so weird because I think honestly, it's probably for the best, because as we've seen with so many long-running series, it's so hard to maintain quality over 10 years. Like, I can't do anything for 10 years, let alone maintain a story quality that's coming out on a weekly or monthly basis. Like, that's absolutely insane. So, like, impressive to not only, like, put out a series for that long, but also maintain quality. But, like, I think it's also possibly a good sign, because the shorter series, maybe they'll be able to focus on it better. But more importantly, that they'll be able to focus on the mangaka's health. Because I want to believe this. I don't know if it's true, but I think Miura passing away from health issues, I'm hoping that will kind of make the industry realize, like, how much people do really care about the health of the creators, and they won't continue to have these, like, super ridiculous long-running series. Or it'll give the mangaka creators, like, who are in these positions, it'll give them kind of like the leverage to say, like, hey, I know my series is really popular, but we are not extending this shit out for 10 years, and I'm not like getting like back issues and shit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it definitely seems like the environment is very different now from how it was like back when Shonen Jump like almost killed Togashi.
Yeah. Tom in chat said the anime adaptations, I think, really killed the hype for My Hero Academia. I think that's true too. Like,
that is true.
They obviously care about the movies over the actual like canon content, and like apparently the best part of the series got like a shitty adaptation. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
The last season, like, no one talked about it. From what I saw.
It's so wild, right?
Yeah, it's crazy how that happened.
Although I feel like from when like the first couple seasons of Hero Aka were airing, the point that the manga was at then, like, I know the anime has passed that now, but I feel like even back then I saw people saying like, oh, the best parts of Hero Aka are over. Like, this stuff is shitty now.
Yeah. Hero Aka has that really weird thing of like, it'll have one really hype arc, and then it'll have like kind of a lay mark. And I'm not talking like my opinion, it's like how I feel like the community feels about it. It'll have like, here's the hype arc, and now we're back at school and people kind of don't care. But now we have the hype arc again, and it like flip-flops back and forth. And I think that kind of ruins it a bit, at least in terms of like continuously keeping up hype and discussion.
Right.
I also think Hiraraka happened in this weird transitional time for Shonen Jump where like the big three had like just ended, and so but the new generation of stuff hadn't quite come in yet. So like, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen didn't start, Yaiba didn't start, Neverland didn't start. So it was like the only thing that was actually going for Shonen Jump at that
that's
time.
a good point.
And so it was like, and for that reason, the hype was like through the roof, but to the point where it was overhyped for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was the first big shonen in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a tough mantle to pick up. Like, I don't know if any series could have withstood that much hype. So, not even saying that in like a disrespectful way to My Hero Academia. It was just in that weird time frame.
Yeah.
Like, and given credit where credit is due, My Hero Academia invented Sakuga clips going viral on Twitter, and then everyone checking out the show because of it. So
That's true.
you can thank My Hero Academia for Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen blowing up.
Yeah. My Hero Academia walked so everyone else could run.
Yeah. But it makes... Oh, go ahead.
I'm curious to get back to what was suggested about Chainsaw Man earlier. Because a lot of these we've been talking about, it's like, yeah, they'll like capture the weeb market, but do they have the mass appeal to get past that and into just like, you know, people who are looking for something to watch on TV?
Yeah.
Like Sinris's brother. Will Sinris's brother watch Chainsaw Man before football?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, I haven't read Chainsaw Man, but I know a bit about it. And it seems to me like it's closer in terms of, you know, like atmosphere, and what the appeal is to Attack on Titan than any of those other ones are. Is that
it's a more mature,
an accurate perception?
It almost
Yeah,
feels,
I think that's accurate.
It almost feels too mature for shonen.
I think it's kind of like Chainsaw Man is like Fooly Cooley meets Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have it definitely seems to me, from like, my best friend is super into Chainsaw Man, so she's told me a lot about it.
Oh,
It
right.
seems to me a lot like Diet Dorohedoro, like mass market Dorohedoro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting series. I finished it and liked it a lot. I think it's interesting, and I think certain aspects will definitely be a mainstay, but I do think it goes by so quickly that I don't know how much will be like retained by people besides like Makima Hot, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's already a thing, but I don't know. It'll be interesting just to see like how much will like quote unquote like normal communities and weeb communities have an overlap, because I think with like another year of, you know, coronavirus craziness where people are just staying inside more, I think people are just getting more weird and getting more close to like anime fandoms where, you know, you just see so many people like simping over cartoons. So I feel like any of those kinds of, I'm trying to think of the word, like any of the taboo weirdness of weebdom, I think it's like getting diluted as time goes on.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I mean, that's kind of what happened with VTubers. Like,
yeah,
they dropped the English VTubers right in like the peak of the pandemic, and everyone was like, well, I've got nothing else to do, so I'll just watch this weird anime shit.
Yeah, I feel like if you watch a VTuber, like Chainsaw Man you'll get the appeal of Chainsaw Man. Never thought I would have
If you
said
like
that.
Gargura's streams, you will like Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was just thinking about it because I do feel like it's like a weird, I don't know. I was watching the ending for Attack on Titan, like the ending theme, and I was like, this feels like a weird closure to like Attack on Titan, Eren, and just like this, you know, long-running blockbuster series. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't talk about, I don't want to go into it too much, but I think the ending for the anime will make, whatever they do with the anime ending, I think it'll make the opinions on the overall series ending a bit more polarizing, like hit or miss. So I'm not sure how people will feel about it, but it'll be interesting to see.
That's kind of an elephant in the room that we should probably address, and this is going to be an ongoing discussion that we'll most likely bring up in future episodes. But I believe there are 20 episodes of the manga to adapt left. Like, we left off on 121, right?
20 chapters of the manga?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think so.
Like, I think the first part of the season ended on 121 or like 119 or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and based on what I was told, like, the pace for the first part of the season was about, like 1 to 2 chapters per episode. And so, if they did like another 16 episode season, then they would get to the end of the manga without really changing that pace. But this has been pretty much confirmed to be a 12 episode season, and a lot of people are saying that's not enough to adapt the rest of the manga. So, it's suggested that it's not going to end right at the end of the manga, and who knows what they're going to be doing beyond that. Are we going to get an anime original ending? Are they just going to rush it? Are we going to get another final season or a movie or whatever?
Yeah,
final.
That is a good point. I forgot that the last season was 16 episodes. That was weird.
Yeah, it had an extra month. But I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard grumblings, our favorite rumbling adjacent word, grumbling.
Yes, the grumbling.
The grumblings have been saying apparently they might make a movie, but like I kind of hate when people are like, yeah, they might make a movie, because I'm never sure if that person is a genuine source or if it's like anime fan bullshit where they're like, yeah, they're just gonna make a movie.
It's just,
you know what I mean?
Copium.
Yeah, like one of the if you compile the list of common phrases that are least likely to happen, it's like, yeah, they're gonna make a movie for the ending. That's like one of the top ones. Like, I've heard that so many times, and I'm like, okay, this sounds like bullshit, but
it is getting more and more common as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just watched Gintama the final, which that happened, but Attack on Titan is a much more lucrative franchise than Gintama.
Yeah, I mean, Gintama ended itself multiple times in the manga. So that was the point of doing that in the anime, at least.
Yeah, they did some wild shit for that. If I could recount all of the endings, that was just a wild ride. But yeah, so I think there is a precedent for that. I don't know if they've confirmed it or if they are gonna do it. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. But I think I would rather them continue at the pace they're at and just end this season and either potentially do a movie or potentially do a movie or another season, rather than them kind of rush it or, cut out stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can think of
someone in chat just said there hasn't been any official news on a movie, but if I'm remembering correctly, when the first half of the final season was airing, there was no official word on the second half of the final season.
Yeah, we had no idea what they were doing.
We didn't even know there was going to be another final season. Some people were like, are they going to end get to the end of the entire manga in 16 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the weird things where it's
they just don't announce things until the last possible second.
Yeah. And I haven't seen a series that's this popular and big be so silent about half of the important aspects.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
They just don't say shit. I don't know. It's wild. We just don't know. We just have no idea for half of this, and we're like, okay, we'll find out. That was how we were for the majority of part 1.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't even know when it was coming out until I don't know, a couple months before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have no idea. So, I mean, I would be down with either. I don't know. I
don't know. We don't know. We just move forward.
We just keep moving forward.
How about the meme appearing being one of the first lines of this part?
I know. I thought that was so funny.
Keep moving forward. Yeah, I was so happy when I saw that.
That's how I know I was down bad. I didn't even recognize that he said the line. He said the thing.
Uh-huh.
Can't believe it. Well, it's also funny
Whenever I see something that's like that on the nose, I have to wonder if that's like he actually said the same thing that Aaron did in that previous scene, or if it's just the translator like having a laugh.
I wonder. It's got to be the thing, right? It's got to just be the line. Like they just have
probably
to
just.
I'm sure it's a
yeah.
line in the manga.
Yeah.
Right.
That fits well. But I also do like to think that someone just listened to this podcast and are like, yo, these dudes keep joking about the moving forward line. Let's just put it in again.
Run it again. Yeah. I don't know. Good to start off the season with an ass shot of Zeke.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
we're getting the movie. That's what I'm saying. We're getting the movie.
Yeah, I think that like the pacing of this episode, I don't know enough about the source and how many chapters they're going through or anything to say this with any confidence. But so like maybe this episode covered a lot and I just don't realize it. But I felt like very, very little actually happened in this episode, which doesn't suggest to me that they're rushing towards the ending.
Yeah,
which is kind of also why we've been talking about like everything very little about the episode.
I mean, yeah, like the dropships came in and Aaron fought for a couple seconds, and then there was like the conversation with Onyankopon. That was basically it.
Onyankopon runs downstairs like Aaron is about to die, and then they have a calm conversation.
And then they have a 5-minute conversation about it. Yeah, he's like really urgent about it, and they're like, okay, let's talk peacefully.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like a lot did not happen. I don't know. I feel like a lot didn't happen. I think that...
And these aren't complaints. Like, we're not even really complaining about this.
No. Yeah. We're just saying, when we have elements to talk about, there's not much.
It's part of a larger story.
Yeah. One part of the whole.
What were you saying, Sha?
I forget. Oh, I was going to ask a hypothetical question. Sorry if I'm still too soft. Hypothetical question. Since both of you don't know the ending, would you rather we don't get the ending at all and it just kind of continues on as is and like ignorance is bliss, or do you guys want some full adaptation of the ending no matter how much you end up liking or disliking it?
You mean like within these 12 episodes? Like are you asking like do you want them to like get to the ending even if that means it's rushed, or are we okay with waiting again if it means it gets done better in the future? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Red pill or blue pill? I'm not sure which one is which. Just I wanted to say that.
I think I just want them to get to the ending.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see the ending.
Okay. That's good to know.
I want to see the ending and decide for myself if people are right.
Yeah. I just feel like at this point, even despite having been super into the first half of the final season, I kept forgetting that this was coming. Like, until a couple weeks ago, I had completely forgotten that there was more Attack on Titan scheduled. So
it's not your fault because they never talk about it. We get barely any announcements, so it's not even like your fault.
If we get through these 12 episodes and then we have to wait another year for a movie, I think my hype is going to dry up.
You know what? I'm going to, I mean, obviously I said I want to see the ending, but a movie would kill my hype as well. Because a movie isn't even just more waiting. It's going to be more waiting on top of people spoiling the shit out of it because people are, going to see it in Japan or whatever and then post about it on the internet, and I'm going to have to read it.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, and not even saying, people will just outright spoil it, but, basic things about, oh, they adapted this and this are going to be shouted out. And, I just hate that. I hate having to wait for a thing that already exists.
Yep.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah.
And that's worse with movies than with anything else, because it's not even just, the adaptation people who are... But, the pace at which different people get access to the movie is so staggered.
Because they wait till the Blu-ray and then they sub it and then release that, or you get the rare chance that you get it from like 11 Arts, or like what we did with like what was it, the Made in Abyss movie, where we got to just see them. Yeah,
right.
That was cool.
That was nice.
That was nice. Yeah, so that's good to know. I will be interested to see. I want to see what you both think about the ending, because I mean, I did well, I won't tell you about that. But I essentially did a poll and I got responses, and I'm pretty sure you guys will both fall in line with what they said, because that's kind of what I thought, and it's some kind of nuanced opinion, not like best of all time, worst of all time, like somewhere in the middle. But
I think I remember seeing your poll that was like, what do you think of the ending? And it was like, it was perfect, it was awful and ruined the franchise, or I didn't like it, but the series was still good.
Yeah. I had two in the middle where it was like you said, perfect and terrible were the two extremes, and one was like bad but not series ruining versus good but had issues. And like the majority response was bad but not series ruining, but it only just beat out good but had issues. So I think even though despite the outrage, I think people fall in the middle where they're like, yeah, there were some good ideas, some bad ideas, but it could have been done better. I don't know.
I have an idea of what to expect. Not as in like what will happen, but like how to process it, if that makes sense. I don't really want to say anything because I don't want to imply anything.
I was about to say, literally show me a long-running series that ended in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, send you ass.
But then we just did the episode on the rebuilds, which kind of pulled it off when nobody thought they could. So
that's true.
I do think I have like a past of like all these manga I followed that like turned out bad, but the only two that turned out well were Gintama and Haikyuu. So thank you for those. The final.
But Shaw, people don't like Gintama because it's comedy and it's got like poo poo jokes, and that's bad.
It does have the poo poo jokes.
Also, it's 600 episodes.
I wonder how many. I think it's like 300. Yeah, but
the first season is 300.
No, 200.
Okay.
I think it's under 500. Why can't I count that many? Yeah, under 500. But there are over 600 poo-poo jokes. So that's all that matters. Yeah. So, at your own risk, jump into the shit.
Okay. I have one final question for this stream. This is mostly for Shah, as the only one who knows the ending. Do you think there is any remotest possibility that they do an anime original ending?
I think that they will add anime original elements to it because I think that they might add some stuff, but I don't think they're going to fundamentally change it. For two reasons. Actually, it's one reason. Because Isayama came out with the first version, and then he came out with like the volume release version that had extra pages. So
I forgot about that. Like he kind of retconned it himself.
Yes, so he had two chances, but I think by now, if he wants to add or like expand upon any elements, he definitely can. But I don't think he's going to fundamentally change any aspect of it.
Okay.
So I don't think they're going to just be like, nah, let's scrap it and do it again, because I mean, he kind of could have done something similar the first time, but he didn't. So I do think like we know from the past that like he had some issues with some of the arcs he made that were adapted around season 3. Like he changed some. I think he combined it 2 arcs because he was like, yeah, I think this is like takes too long in the manga. So like he does have like input on like how the anime turns out, but I don't think they're gonna just up and do something new.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is always interesting to me, like creators redoing their stuff.
Yeah.
And the way and the things they choose to change, because there are little things like that. But then I was also thinking recently about like after like years and years and years of supposedly being in production, just recently the Tsukihime remake finally came out, right?
Yeah.
And like Nasu literally like removed some of the most important characters from it.
Really?
Yeah, like the main villain of the original Tsukihime isn't even in it anymore.
Is it even Tsukihime, or did they just did they just run it again?
I don't know. It's strange. I don't really know the details of what happens in the new one because there's no translation of it, but I know like Nasu was like, yeah, this guy Nerinsker Chaos, who's like originally was the main villain. He's like, this guy in lore is like actually way too powerful to be used in like the way he was being used in the original. So removed him from the story and replaced him with a new guy who's like more fitting for the power level of the rest of the characters.
Huh.
He saw power scaling arguments online, and he's like, "Okay, let's fix it."
Yeah, right.
That something kind of similar, I think, happened with the latest Higurashi anime, where the creator was like, "Now let's do something different," and I don't think people liked it, but it's like, it's kind of interesting. Like, why are you doing this? You know?
Right.
Like, who is the audience for this? I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I don't know. I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, they did this thing in the opening. It's an anime original ending," which that is probably the highest case of copium I've ever seen.
Yeah. Right. And that's why I ask, because it's definitely a big copium subject. People being like, I didn't like this in the ending, but oh, I'm sure that the anime will change it.
Yeah, I mean, the last anime original ending I got was The Promised Neverland, so I'm inclined to just say, let it be. Like, don't touch it.
Right.
Do not fuck with it.
Wait, was The Promised Neverland an anime original ending?
Yeah,
sort
because
of.
season 2 was just anime.
I mean, it was mostly just they cut a shitload of stuff, but there was anime original
They
content.
changed a lot of parts of the ending, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when that was winding down and people were like, oh, well, the manga ending was so shit, surely they'll just improve it in the anime. And that's just, that's kind of like what people are saying now, where they're just like, oh yeah, people hate the manga ending of Attack on Titan so much, the anime's gotta change it. And it's like, when has that ever happened?
Right.
I don't know of, maybe there's one, but I can't think of an anime original ending where people were like, yes, this was the answer. This has solved all of our problems.
Now that you say that, I feel like there is an example, but I can't think of what it is.
I feel like there's one that I'm not thinking of, but people will use that as like the one example, and it's like, okay, this happened one time.
I mean, there are definitely things like K-On!, which is technically an adaptation of something, but bears like extremely little resemblance to it, and is like universally agreed to be way better than the source material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a different sort of beast.
Yeah, that's like that's like slightly different. But it's I'm trying to think if there's one. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just scrolling through my mouth. I'm trying to catch something.
I'll find one. People with like FMAO3, they're like, yes, this one is much better, and we're like, but I disagree.
But also, those would be like, some of those would be like, ongoing manga or manga that just never finished. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did Nana have a good ending in the anime?
I mean, they did kind of the like cutoff, where they're like, this story isn't over, but it's over for now, kind of thing. So it's like, I'd say it's a decent ending, but it's not like an ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of one. I'm sure there's one that exists, but
there probably is one or two. I don't know. If you know it, let us know. Let us know. Talk to us. But
add us. Yeah, but this was fun. I'm excited to see both of your reactions. Hopefully Crunchyroll gets us the episode out sooner.
If not, then someone will. ...
Someone.
So
eventually.
Yeah, but thank you all very much for listening or watching or being here, whichever one you did. Like I said, we're going to be doing this every Sunday in the evening in America time, or afternoon in America times. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Keep moving forward with your week.
Keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. So
I'm excited to keep doing these.
Yeah, me too. Like, this was the highlight of my year last year, doing these streams and following Attack on Titan, and yeah, I hope to do it again. Funimation.
Yeah,
thing.
me
That's
too.
right. It is on Funimation as well.
Don't
Oh,
make
did
me a
Funny
Funimation
actually like
franchise.
get it out at a reasonable time?
Probably. I have no
know.
idea.
Makes sense.
If
They-
Not be
Funimation
a
does
Funimation.
something good, no
Of
one
course,
notices.
they didn't crash because nobody uses them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
GG. All right. Well.
Wait, guys, Bob Saget died.
What?
Sorry, Bob Saget died apparently.
Like just now?
Yeah, on Twitter apparently.
Oh.
Well,
no.
he didn't die on Twitter.
He got
Twitter's
canceled
just-
on Twitter. He's
He got
dead
canceled.
now.
He died on Twitter. Sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry. We're ending the episode, but I mean, we dedicate this episode to Bob Saget, I guess.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bob Saget. Damn.
Damn.
Oh, also, we dedicate this episode to Bacon, who got married today.
Oh yeah.
Congrats to Bacon.
Happy not dying, Bacon.
Congrats.
I meant to say that at the start, but forgot. So congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Congrats, Bacon.
Gee, good job, Bacon. All right. Well,
All right.
see you guys next
Next
week.
week.
Follow us on Twitter at Tokyo Podfathers, or check us out on Discord for updates on this series. And we'll get back to edited episodes, I think, next week. But yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to do something ambitious for next week, so hopefully it'll be done by the weekend.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you posted.
Yep.